How did David Coreswet do as Superman? Yes, I've seen the movie, and no, I don't plan on giving you any spoilers in this video. I think one of the best ways we can understand how he did is to show you something that I saw before the movie came out. We're just going to watch a little bitty short clip of the GQ interview that David Coreswet did, which gave me a lot of hope. But, you hear stuff from people, you see stuff in trailers, and you never truly know if what they're doing is actually going to be what they say that they're doing. So, though it gave me hope, it didn't give me any sort of lean one way or the other as to what to expect from the movie. So, let's check out what he says here in this GQ interview very quickly, and then we're going to talk a lot about how he did in this role.
I spent one of these days leading up to the deadline watching the Superman movies.
Who are...
Now, some characters, like I think Michael Shannon, didn't watch any previous stuff, which can be a good strategy. But the reason that he watched these movies is what's really important, okay?
We watched the first Christopher Reeve movie, we watched Superman Returns, and we watched Man of Steel, just to sort of get a sense of the cinematic canvas that had existed over the decades, which was really wonderful. And I had some strong thoughts that I told to my wife. I got very passionate, as I often do watching movies. I love movies, and I love critiquing them, and I love celebrating and sort of...
Now remember, he's a trained Juilliard actor, so when he says he gets intense and passionate, that's a really good sign for any part that he would be playing in any movie. It means that he does his best to dive into that role, which is probably something a lot of these actors weren't doing. They probably weren't diving into the role as much as they were like, I could do that.
breaking down where they succeed and why they succeed. And I think she was the one who said, you should probably get these ideas to him in some form or another. He should know what you're thinking.
I've always said that our wives often give us the best ideas, because what he says next with what she said, you should get these ideas out, that's probably what got him the role. That's just my guess.
I wrote a letter. I sat right down and I wrote myself a letter, addressed it to whom it may concern, you know, leaving open the possibility that no one would care, and so it would concern no one. And I just laid out some of the thoughts that I had and the passion that I had for the possibilities of this character and the great drama available to a character like Superman. And I sent that along with my audition tape to whomever it concerned, and then I forgot about it.
So what he means is he had all these ideas of what he thought Superman actually was from watching the other movies, what the character Superman was, and he wrote this stuff down and just sent it in with his audition tape. And that was it. That's all we're going to watch, that little clip. But what's more important is what happened after he made these decisions. So if you watch later my straight out of the theater review for the early screening, for the Amazon Prime early screening for Superman, you'll notice that I say that one of the things that this movie got right was the character of Superman, and it got it right just about better than any other Superman. And yes, I'm kind of including Christopher Reeve. I'm not saying that Christopher Reeve didn't get the character right, but they display it better than any other movie ever has. And I'm a big Christopher Reeve fan. I'm a big Henry Cavill fan. I'm just a big Superman fan, if that's not already extremely apparent. And when I was watching this movie, it was so clear that David had the character down that I was getting blown away very quickly just by that one aspect of the movie, without talking about anything else, without talking about whether or not I like the movie as a whole. You can watch that in our video. But the character part was on point. If I could rate it for just the character, I would give it a 10 of 10. But 10 of 10s are not something I give away. 9 of 10s aren't even something I give away easily. So, but how he handled the character, yeah, he knew what he was doing with Superman. So what was it about his character that made it show more than Christopher Reeve? The movie, some complainers were saying that it was going to be bloated and that there was going to be like too many side characters. I can tell you right now, there's not too many side characters. James Gunn is very good at handling side characters, and he did a good job with it in this movie. But when it comes to the character of Superman, those side characters actually do a great job to contrast how Superman is and what he does. See, in the original Superman, Christopher Reeve, the contrast of Superman was Lex. Superman wanted good, Lex wanted bad. That's in this movie. But it's also in this movie with the people he's working alongside that are good, like Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Hot Girl, even Lois Lane. You know, these people are all good people. They're all not on Lex's side, the side of bad. But if they weren't there, you wouldn't have all these moments that show you his heart, that show you how he feels about people and about life in general. It was very, very amazing to see that happen on a screen, not just again, but in a way we'd never seen before. David Corenswet's character when it comes to Superman was on point. It was amazing. I was disappointed in the amount of Clark. I'm a big Clark fan, though. Most people aren't Clark Kent fans. They're more there for Superman. Clark Kent is in the movie. He's just not in the movie much. And most of what you would consider to be Clark is actually just Superman in regular clothes, talking like privately to Lois or something, where he's not really being Clark. He's being Superman. So we didn't get as much Clark as I was hoping. To me, knowing how well you do with the character of Superman also includes how well you do at Clark. And we didn't get to see just a ton of that. It wasn't what people I think were expecting, but honestly, I don't think most people care. I haven't heard really anybody say anything about Clark. Nobody cares. I care, but I'm starting to realize over the years that, you know, people don't care about Clark the way I do. But he did do the character of Clark well. But what he really nailed was the character of Superman. And I could not believe, I really couldn't, guys. I could not believe that the character of Superman had been done in a way that we have really never seen so in depth. Again, I'm saying things like in depth because Christopher Reeve showed us the character of Superman, but this was done where it focuses on it so much. And I was blown away by that aspect of the movie. If you want to know, like, what I thought of the movie in general, you'll have to watch my full, or my out of the theater review, because just because I like the character aspect does not mean that everything else was on point. It just means that I do, in fact, think James Gunn, yeah, he got that right. When he was sitting down, it was like, let me think, who is Superman? Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Same with David. David, when he sat down and he was like, I'm going to watch these movies. What am I gleaning from this? Who is Superman really? Yeah, he figured it out, and he figured it out quick. He got it. So the answer to the question, how did David Coreswet do as Superman? Oh, man, he did fantastic when it comes to the character of who Superman is, because that is what is missing from so many Superman movies, is that whenever people go on to do these movies, what they're concerned about is power, and they're concerned about action. And these things are important, but it doesn't matter 2 cents if he's not acting like Superman. And in this case, this is a Superman that I could see myself watching for the next decade and not having any issues when it comes to the character. I hope you guys enjoy the movie. Don't forget to check out my Out of the Theater review right here.